How you guys feeling?
Good, good. Hanging in there.
And I feel like Pedro should be here. I mean, you guys is like the
Yeah, we
unbreakable
all feel
trio.
like Pedro should be
He
here.
should be here. Yeah, he
He's
really
just being a little bitch somewhere.
left us hanging.
How do you guys build that? You seem like you have great camaraderie. How do you guys cultivate that?
Well, Pedro and Dakota knew each other. They already had a real tight thing going on, so I certainly was a little nervous coming in. Felt like I was third wheeling it, but they're both just such lovely people, and we all have a very
We
similar.
just really love each other.
We had a similar
We
vibe.
all really love each other.
We just hit it off. Yeah.
Why couldn't the girl just choose, or you guys just choose each other? You know,
Yeah, why couldn't we just just
All be
thruple it?
together?
Just thruple it and just wrap it up, and that's it. That's the movie. Happy ending for
Who
everybody.
knows? It might be the end of the movie.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, you'll have to go see.
And Dakota, what made you say yes to this rom-com?
I thought that I was having like a early lunch with Celine, and I was privileged to meet her like before the Oscars when she was nominated. I just was I just thought she was so magnificent and smart and soulful, so I didn't know that I was going into anything, and she, I guess, had different ideas. But we had a really lovely lunch, and I mean, I would say yes to anything Celine wanted to do with me. She's just so intelligent, very intentional with her work, her ideas, her emotions, her everything. She's like a very deliberate person, and it's so thoughtful and beautiful. And so, I mean, of course I said yes. Those are the kind of people I want to work with.
And Chris, when you read the script, what made you say, okay, I want to try this?
Yeah, it was Celine. I mean, I love past lives. I love that Celine writes deeply personal stories. Her dialogue's incredible, but it's also the sort of restraint, the withholding she has with her dialogue. She doesn't show you everything right away, and there's just as much space for the dialogue as there is for the silence. And I think that's what gives not just authenticity, but when something's happening in your own life and you have these little moments that are so magical to you, and then you try to tell your friends about it, and it's never the same because when you're experiencing it, it's so special. Celine knows how to capture those moments, and it's with the stillness, it's with the quiet, it's with the pacing, to make these things on paper that seem almost simple, that on film become iconic.
And what was it like playing John? What about this guy who's imperfect? And
Yeah. I mean, look, John is a little cynical, a little ossified. He's not where he wants to be in life, and in a world where material things matter in the landscape of love, he doesn't quite add up. But he knows what he wants, and he knows who he loves, and he just doesn't quite feel that he has anything to offer. And your pride can kick in, and you can adopt a persona that you don't care, even though that's not true. And John has to figure out that if he wants the love that he wants, he has to take risks, and that's the biggest gamble any of us can take.
that risk. And what was it like playing a matchmaker? How'd you research for the character?
Well, Celine was a matchmaker for about 6 months. So I just spoke with her for, weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, it was so much on the page that I didn't have to do much research, and I loved that it, to me, felt like an imaginary world, because I just know nothing about that. Although, did you meet the millionaire matchmaker last night?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Me too.
She grabbed me. And I was like, oh, what's going on, huh? I didn't know who she was. Did you know who she was?
I didn't, but then I did. I didn't, and then I did.
I felt bad because she said it as if I should know, and I was like,
Well,
did we meet at one point?
No.
I couldn't quite recall.
Just cut this part out.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
See it.
She was very nice. She was very nice, but I felt
But
that I should have known.
I just can't imagine doing the job Lucy does. So I was, it was fun. Research was just talking to Celine, honestly.
And I mean, so you couldn't Did the millionaire matchmaker, did she give you any tips after seeing it, or what did she say?
I feel like you'd have to ask her. I'm not gonna like talk about myself. I don't like that.
And did you have any odd jobs? You know, your character was she's a struggling
Sure.
caterer. Did you know early in your career? Did you have any?
No, what did I do? I was a CIT at a summer camp, but I actually loved it. Like it wasn't exactly like
What's a CIT?
a counselor in training.
Not even a real counselor.
Not even a counselor.
What were you, like
It's
16?
I was 16.
And then that was it? That was only job.
Theater camp.
Oh.
That's the kind of guy I was.
Okay, cool.
That's what I was. Yeah.
And that was it.
I think that's it.
No more jobs.
No, I was very lucky. I started working when I was 17 as an
You didn't
actor.
work in a restaurant?
What about you, Dakota? Any odd jobs when you were?
Oh my god. I worked in a restaurant in Woody Creek Tavern, obviously. I served
Sounds great.
burgers for like
Creek?
4 days, and then I got fired because I sucked. I was 14. And then I worked at an art gallery that was next door to my high school
That sounds fancy.
because I studied visual arts and I was a painter. And I hated that job because it just involved like writing essays about artists. But we had one of the early, like, we had a James Turrell exhibit.
You had to write essays?
Yeah, I had to like do these write-ups on artists and present them to the, like
Oh,
this.
wow.
So you
It was my brother's friend that gave me the job, and
Wow.
and then I was like, I f***ing hate this. I'm in school, and then I'm doing more school, and then I have to go home and do homework, and I hated it.
Now, do you think if you guys were set up with your partners today that it would have worked out if you went to a matchmaker, like on the first date?
Yeah, I don't know. God, I don't know. I've always been curious about the matchmaking world and what goes into it and what they would
Not for me.
consider. No? No?
Dakota's like, no, I don't know how they do it. It wouldn't work. Yeah.
No.
Any tips you would give? Because we're in New York City, is one of the most challenging places to date. Any tips or anything you learned from your character that you could share with people that are out here struggling to find love?
I think I like that Lucy becomes very honest and brave with herself.
Hmm?
You do see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think when it comes to love, you don't want regret in life, you know, in any capacity. And I think love is a risk, love's a gamble. And I just think the worst thing in the world is to look back and think I should have been more vocal. I should have put myself out there. I should have tried. Specifically when it comes to love, you know, more than career, more than any of those other things. So just have courage.
Well said. Be vulnerable. Thank you, guys.
Right.